Bless you, friends. Pastor Jerone Davison here. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to In the Word. Mark 9 and 25. Here's what it says. And Jesus said unto the spirit that was in the man, Thou dumb and deaf spirit, come out of the man and enter into him no more. There is something that usually follows the deliverance of God's people. He delivers us first. Then he does something after that. You'll see it. And in my video prior to this one, I talked about it in a little bit, but not quite with the same title. When God was delivering Egypt, or delivering Israel from Egypt, he was delivering them, and then he was doing something. When he was doing something with Daniel and the Hebrew boys, he delivered them, and then he did something. When it came to Esther, he delivered them and he did something. If you look in Revelation chapter 1 through 3, God's delivering, he's preparing the church for their deliverance from the earth to come up into heaven. And then in chapter 5, what happens? Immediately, God prepares to begin to do something to the world. Here's what usually follows our deliverance. When God delivers us immediately, in most cases, he's pronouncing judgment upon our enemies. I remember something about the 12 o'clock hour when Paul and Silas begin to pray and they begin to sing at midnight. And they begin to sing. And the Spirit of God came in and rocked that prison where they were held captive. And God delivered them. All the prison doors were open. The prison doors was open. They could have left. They were delivered. They could have gotten out of there. They were delivered. Deliverance that took place. God had pronounced judgment upon his captors. And so they could have been set free, but they stayed. But here's the deal. At 12 o'clock, it was at midnight. And it's something about the midnight hour, that time, it seems to be within the split second of a second. God is rewarding deliverance to his people and judgment to our enemies. He's given deliverance to us, and he's judging our enemies at the same time. And in most cases, when you see deliverance take place, you see judgment happen to our enemies almost immediately right after that. It's like the two-sided coin. On one side, there's freedom. On the other side, there's judgment. You remember at the pillar of fire when Israel was backed up against the Red Sea, there was a pillar of fire on one side that faced Pharaoh and his army. But on the other side of that, it was a cloud. It was refreshing. So for God's people, there is blessing, but for our enemies, there is a cursing. And so that's what's happening. When God delivers his people, he is delivering us and he's judging our enemies almost simultaneously. In the book of Revelation, the church is taken out of here. And in the book of Revelation 1, 2, and 3, that's talking about the church. But in chapter 4, the church is taken up all of a sudden. The seven candlesticks, which represented the seven churches, and the seven stars, which are the seven angels of the church. All of that was in the earth. But in chapter 4 of Revelation, the scene now takes us up into heaven, because the church is no longer in the earth, and the eyes of God are different. Now it's in a different place. But in chapter 5, as soon as the church is taken out of here, God is preparing to open the book that is going to unleash the seven veils, the seven thunders, the seven plagues, and all. So the judgments of God is going to take place after the church is delivered. And usually whenever you experience deliverance, whenever God delivers you out of something, it almost certainly means that he's also judged your enemy at the same time he delivered you. Can you give God some praise? Can you give God some glory? He's mighty. He's wonderful. He's wise. He's the Almighty One. And he's with you. He's the one that's working with you. He's the one that's on your side. I doubt I know, man, with high probability, with all confidence, with all faith, in that there is nothing too hard for God. There is no obstacle, there is no enemy, there is no opponent that you have in your life, not even mental and psychological, emotional, financial, family, relational. There is nothing too hard for God. Nothing. And when He delivers you, He's going to deal with it. And just like Jesus dealt with that spirit, when He commanded that spirit to come out of the man in Mark chapter 9, verse 25, He pronounced a judgment on that spirit. And the judgment was He condemned him to never come back into this boy again. Now, for a spirit that was disembodied from the Old Testament, that's all they do is seek a body. They want to be in bodies. But He had judged that spirit, that what you did to get into this boy, it was unlawful, and what you caused this boy to do, it was unlawful. And the judgment that they pronounced on it is that you cannot re-enter again. Powerful, profound. But anyway, let me know what you think about this scripture. I know it's gonna cause a deeper study and all that kind of stuff. And we need to go into the scriptures and show you the scripture and exegete on that scripture and exposit on that scripture a little more and expand it a little more. But I'm sure God's going to help you with the idea of it, and we will revisit it, and then we'll do all of that wonderful stuff. We will exposit, we will expand, we'll do all that, exegete. God bless you. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment, leave a scripture, leave a thought, and don't forget to subscribe. God bless.